The club is proud to present our new partner, Super 6. Now, if you haven't heard of Super 6, it is something that every football fan needs in their life. Now, it's a game that is completely and utterly free to play. It will not cost you a penny. And if you predict 6 scores correctly, you will win £250,000. And did I say it will not cost you a penny to enter? It's totally free to play. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Buvey, Adam and myself have started up our own league so you can compete against us. Make sure that you join our league. It will not cost you a penny and you could win £250,000. The code to join our league on Super 6 is Club S6. And if you finish top of our league, you will be given £100 to spend at classicfootballshirts.co.uk. We will be giving out a top every single round of fixtures. It is so easy to play, even I can do it. You simply predict your 6 scores, you hit the golden goal. So that is the minute that you think the first goal will be scored in that round of fixtures, and you are good to go. And if you get them all right, you will win £250,000. And even if you don't get them right, but you manage to finish top of our league, you will get £100 to spend at classicfootballshirts.co.uk. The link is in the description below, and Adam, Buvey and myself would love it if you would join our league. Look forward to seeing you there. You're watching a clip from the Club podcast.
Make sure you follow it on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and give it a 5-star review.
So here you go. Here's a lovely clip from our podcast.
Look, Ross, we talked about it in the game, what I did in particular, because I think Liverpool played a lot of football last season. They got so far into all 4 competitions. Then we had a World Cup kind of after that, the same calendar year, they had a World Cup. Are we kind of killing football, ruining football with the amount of football that we all love to watch? Is there an insatiable appetite for football where people are trying to market it to the point where there's more and more football all the time? It feels like there's less of a pre-season. Is that resulting in injuries, etc.?
I'll pick you up on that just to demonstrate how the appetite has grown and how people are trying to market football and squeeze every single penny that there is to be squeezed out of football and make their money sweat for everything it can sweat for. You touched on pre-season. Pre-season isn't pre-season anymore. It's tournaments in the States or in Singapore against other big clubs. When I was a kid, Chelsea pre-season, it was a game against Kingstonian, maybe Wimbledon. That was a pre-season, right? Yeah. Occasionally, maybe you go and play Montpellier. It's like a bit of a glamorous trip.
Yeah.
Now, I went on a pre-season tour, and I'm not saying I don't like it, by the way. I'm just saying that, of course, we are making football all about the money and making sure that it gives us everything that it can give us. I went on a pre-season tour to the States in 2015. I flew into New York, went to a game against the Red Bulls, drove to Washington, D.C., went to a game there, I think PSG, and then went to a game in North Carolina in Charlotte against Barcelona. We're playing Barcelona in America, in a pre-season. But it's marketed as a tournament where you get a trophy and where some people say it matters and whatever. So pre-season isn't really pre-season. Pre-season is an opportunity to market. Yeah. It's an opportunity to sell your brand to loads and loads of new eyeballs in the States. Yeah. You know, the stadium I went to the Panthers Stadium in Charlotte. Glorious ground, amazing, full. Totally full. Loads of people who never really knew what Chelsea were.
That's a lot of new eyeballs on a football club, a lot of new T-shirts and socks that you can sell at Christmas.
And overall, I think, yes.
Football socks. Not just normal socks, but football, kits that you can sell your kids, you know what I'm trying to say.
Overall, I think, yes. I think that football is being marketed. And do you know weirdly, he's a person who, obviously, I didn't like, but I have huge respect for. He's the manager of a rival team of mine. But Arsene Wenger, in this conversation, I think he's been really poor. Arsene Wenger is one of the main proponents behind the 2-year World Cup. Why? And the reason I can answer this is a rhetorical question. The reason is money. Yeah. The amount of money, obviously I've been to a fair few World Cups now. You can just feel the money. And it isn't about Qatar. Don't even try it. I could feel it in Brazil.
I felt it in Russia.
I could feel it anywhere I've been, right? I could feel it in France at the Euros. Yeah. It's about money. Yeah. And Wenger looking for 2 years, trying to milk the World Cup, making it a bigger tournament, more games in a tournament, more eyeballs in a tournament, more sponsorship on a tournament. Yeah. Of course, football is being squeezed. Footballers are being squeezed, but it's very difficult to make a case for a footballer and put it in the column of pity. If I present let's pick a really privileged footballer, but a good one. Jack Grealish, great example, in fact, because I think some people don't like him, don't like his conduct. I love him. But let's use him as an example. If I were to tell you that he is being exploited, the easiest thing for you to do is go, of course he's not. He's on 100 grand a week. What are you talking about? More, way more. And then if I were to say that he's being asked to play too much football, you go, what? A footballer is being asked to play too much football? Yeah, he is. He is.
Yeah.
And you can be incredibly well paid, incredibly successful, and be exploited at the same time. And I think these footballers are.
Yeah, there's a physical limit to football because the nature of how intense it is on the legs, especially the modern. I think in the 90s and the 80s, this isn't to be kind of a stereotypical, but the football's a little bit long ball, a little bit. Maybe I'm being a bit.
But it was way more physical.
In how I'm
it was
saying
way
this.
more physical.
Very physical, yeah. Maybe more impact injuries and nasty high challenges. But I feel like today, when you have to run 14, 15 kilometers off the ball,
you were never doing
Guardiola.
that. Yeah.
The only thing is, so Ten Hag came out and sort of suggested that Marcus Rashford's injury against Everton, I think it was, is kind of related to the fact that they're playing so many football games. Obviously, Rashford was involved in the World Cup as well. Very limited rest for him. United doing well to be relatively far in multiple competitions this season. Is there a counter argument where football is moving, unfortunately, towards a focus towards these bigger sides, whether it is a Super League or not? And these big sides now have 22, 24, 26 man squads, all of 2 world-class players per position. You look at the influx of players that Todd Bowley felt that he had to invest in. You look at City, who I think have done it in a very astute way, but still have a squad that you could argue our bench could win the Premier League on its day. Do you think football just is becoming more of like an American NFL, kind of having a bench of players that all come in and rotate? We're seeing more substitutions, etc. Do you think football is just slowly adapting towards that model?
That was a bad rule. That was a bad rule.
5 subs, yeah.
Because it only favours us.
The money.
Me and you.
Yeah.
We benefit. Nobody benefits.
And Ten Hag, ironically, talking about it, I think there was a game against Reading in the FA Cup and he went full strength in that game. Why'd you have to do that? You spent 250 million quid in the summer,
Silverware.
Exactly.
Silverware. But look, I do think football is moving in a terrible direction. There's no, that's not an opinion, that's a fact. Football is moving in an awful direction. We have to move along with it because we love football, we love our teams. Supporting Chelsea, for me, was a rite of passage, and I'm never not going to do that. But I don't agree with Chelsea being owned by American billionaire venture capitalists who are only trying to make money out of the club. Like, why do... You know when they do the fit and proper test, and you can make this applicable to anyone you want. Like, I'll do it at Chelsea because otherwise people think I'm being biased. So I'll just do it at Chelsea. But I could easily do it for Man City. I could easily do it for the Glazers. I could easily do it for basically anyone who owns a Premier League side. The fit and proper test will always explore, can you afford it? And is your money good? That's what it explores. What it doesn't seem to ever take into account, being fit and proper people running the clubs, is this question, and this is my opinion, is one of the most important questions. Of course, can you afford it is important. Of course, is your money legit? Important. But why do you want to own it? Should be a question. It should be considered. So why do you want to own Chelsea, Todd? Are you a lifelong fan of the club? Probably not, I'm going to assume. Do you have an affiliation to the area? Is the King's Road important to you? Do you love London? No, absolutely not. Do you have an undying love of the game and you want a part of the game? So it's not about Chelsea, it's just about being involved. Like, maybe if I was a billionaire, I'd buy a Serie A club because I don't have an affiliation to Sampdoria, but I love it. I love the culture of Italy, I love the culture of Serie A, and maybe I do. So do you love the Premier League? No. Okay, so why? Well, tell me why then, Todd. Why do you want to buy it? And I think if the answer is to profiteer, the reason that you're buying the club is to make money. The reason that you're buying the club is to for the furtherance of your pocket. I don't think you should be allowed to. But that's obviously impractical. Totally impractical.
Yeah,
because I'm being romantic.
I know what you mean.
I'm being romantic. Like, why do you want to buy the club?
Yeah.
If it's simply money, and I appreciate free market, capitalism, and all that, but football needs to be governed to a higher level. Football clubs are institutions. Football clubs are representations of people. And therefore, it shouldn't just be sold to the highest bidder.
And do you think these people that are coming in, like Todd Bowley, are they looking at football as this opportunity to move to a Premier League game in LA. For example.
I
They
think
move
that the
towards
Super League,
bigger seasons, or Super Leagues, where it's it's 20 of the biggest European sides can never get relegated, and they're playing all the time, every year.
What's never necessary? Like, well, I remember we explored this a lot during the Super League debacle. But what's never important to Todd Boehly is Chelsea ever playing Brighton. In fact, it's not about it not being important. It's a complete and utter waste of time. It's a complete and utter waste of time. If Manchester City, well, it's happened, hasn't it? When Manchester City play Burnley next season, to you,